So tonight we wrap up this Christmas story. For those of you that are just joining, there's 4 videos prior to this where we have journeyed through the Christmas story, the 3 wise men, the birth of Jesus Christ in the stable. And we have learned a lot from this story that parallels to our lives. One of the first things being that they ignored the circumstances of the stable, and they still went inside and searched for him in the stable, even though they didn't want to. And what we have found is that God can be found even in the midst of your storm if you'll search for him. The second thing that we saw with the wise men that is applicable to our lives is when they got inside and they found him, they worshiped him in the stable. And there's nothing more liberating than, even in the midst of a storm, lifting up your praise and your worship and turning your focus back to God and magnifying him in the experience that is not what you thought it would be. And then the third thing we just talked about was that they gave their greatest gift. You know, you got to remember this in your relationship with God. Despite not liking the circumstances, he's still worthy of everything that we have. If it was not for the birth of him in this story and the sacrifice that he would lay down at Calvary, well, we wouldn't have anything at all. So no matter what, God is still worthy of our greatest praise. But the fourth and final thing I want to talk about in this video and in this story is this. The scripture says the angels warned the 3 wise men when they were leaving, and they departed a different way. And here's what I want you to understand about your relationship with God. If when you go to church, you're not leaving changed and you're not leaving different, and you're going home the same way that you have always went home, it's because you're not doing church right. Because when you do church like the 3 wise men did, you will always leave different. When you get to church, come inside with an intent and a purpose of finding him. And when you find him, give him your greatest praise and worship him despite whatever it is that you're going through. Because when you do that, it releases things into your life that's incredible. And when you get in his presence, give your greatest gift that you have to give him. For no greater gift could you give than to give yourself unto him, because he has already laid down his life for you. And the last thing is, if you'll do that every time that you come to church, one thing is guaranteed: you'll never leave the same way that you came. Because when the master meets with you and touches you and begins to move in your life and bring you a peace that passes understanding and begins to illuminate your lives to where you see life the way you should see it, and you see him for who he is and what he is, and he begins to build relationship with you in your life, it changes everything. So don't go to church, go through the motions, and leave the same way that you came. But take a lesson from the wise men. Find him, worship him, magnify him, get alone with God, get transparent with him, give him your greatest gift, and watch what God does in your life. He'll turn it around like you never thought he could. I hope this Christmas story has changed the way you looked at things. And I hope that you'll begin to magnify him with your life and let him move like never before. And I promise you'll be blessed. Like and follow. Have a great evening.